believe it's a man's job to be the provider of the house?
Yes, for sure. If you don't, just stay alone. If you cannot provide everything for your wife, everything, from A to in the end, just stay alone. On my house, it's only me who I work. And I do everything. I pay everything. And I don't care if she works or not. And if she works, her money is for her.
So your money's her money's hers.
Yes. She keep her money for herself. I provide for everything. When you try to separate things, half and half, you have the problem. So the men are born to provide everything.
So a woman can't respect a man who she's out earning and splitting the bills with.
Most of the time she doesn't. If you keep separate the bills, paying half and half, you're gonna have the problems because it's never enough. Woman's job is staying at home, working, take care of your kids, and you have a good family. If you send your wife on the work, then you start the problem. There it starts the problem.
But you don't think that pushes young men away from relationships?
The reason why they push the young man away from relationships is only here. Out of US, we know we have to provide. We grow with that idea that men provide everything. On my relationships before, I never left a woman to pay. It's the worst thing to do, to the woman to pay for you.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
What's your age?
33.
And are you single?
Nah, married.
How long have you been married?
Since 2017.
So being married 8 years, how do you keep a relationship together that long?
Pay 100% of everything.
So it's a man's job to be a provider.
100%. You ain't a man if you're not a provider.
Few moments later.
I'm 34 years old.
Have you ever proposed to a woman before?
Yes, I did.
And how did that turn out for you?
Newly divorced.
How long was your marriage?
8 years.
What do you think caused your 8-year marriage to deteriorate?
You know, it's one of those crazy things, man. People can wake up and say, I don't want to do this. No matter what's built, no matter what legacies are in place, you know, it's one of those situations where you can't control people, right? I can't control you. I can't make you do something you don't want to do. So, you know what I mean?
But did you provide in your relationship?
First month, quit your jobs. The other side look appealing, you know what I'm saying? And to people who married for a long time, you start hanging out with your single friends, you might miss that lifestyle. A lot of women don't want to be kept put up for real.
So what?
Who you think he's talking to? He's talking about his ex-wife.
Yeah. You can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.
What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy Ron back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, hope you subscribe. So, came across a very, very interesting video from Medium Man. Shout out to Medium Man. And as always, I will never stop saying that. I think this brother deserves way more subscribers than he currently has, even though I know recently he crossed 50K, which is a tough feat in itself. So salute to that brother. Glad that he's still putting out the content. He's even got a channel where it specifically focuses on the stats, which is something that I love. So I'll definitely be tapping it in. I'll definitely be tapped into that as well. I'll make sure I leave the link in the description to this video in full. He came across a brother that was on, I forgot, it's called Something Truth. I've reacted to a few clips myself. And there was a brother on there who was throwing brothers under the bus for not providing 100%. Only for the same brother to get interviewed again on the same, I think it's the Desirable Truth, if I remember correctly. Goes on the exact same podcast, only to turn around and end up being divorced after talking all that shit about providing 100%. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
What's your age?
33.
And are you single?
Nah, married.
How long have you been married?
Since 2017.
So being married 8 years, how do you keep a relationship together that long?
Pay 100% of everything.
So it's a man's job to be a provider.
100%. You ain't a man if you're not a provider.
You hear that? And that's what your ass get. I hate when these dudes try and placate to women and try and, say stuff like this, bro. What are you doing? So blue pill tactic, admonish men who don't pay all of the bills in order to gain favor with undesirable single women on social media. And under this video, the comment section was nothing but women. This woman said, that's how you get a submissive woman and respect. That mentality will put a woman in her feminine era easily. You see that? And he knows that. I hate when dudes do this dumb shit, man.
Now, the irony is that the particular color that he's wearing, because, yeah, take a good guess at what color he just so happened to be wearing in the next interview. But I agree with Medium Man. This is so dumb because, for one, essentially what you're doing is you're throwing most men under the bus because most men aren't going to be able to provide off of their income alone, first of all. So that's the part that really triggers me. This is one of the reasons why I named my channel Average Man Unplugged, because I live in reality. I grew up in a two-parent household where both parents worked, and my mom out-earned my dad, and my dad was still head of household because my mom comes from an era where they value character more than money, and they're not going to sit over here and just bow to anybody just because they're the one paying for everything. Especially considering my mom always made her own money any damn way. My mom never needed my dad for money. My dad never needed my mom for money. They were together, and they lasted 46 and a half years before my father passed a couple years ago, because they actually fucking like each other. Because they actually loved each other. My goodness, God forbid people get together and both of them actually have to work because they actually fucking like each other. Because they genuinely love each other. They're one person not just with the other just because of what they can do for each other. Like, and don't you just love how these women show themselves in the comments? Oh, that'll put a woman in her feminine energy. I'm like, and these are the same. I'm like, these are the same women that expect you to be masculine at all times. And these women want to use literally having to provide for themselves as an excuse to call themselves masculine or not being able to be feminine. This is why I really get triggered when women sit over here and say red pill content is harming and ruining men. No, the type of content that makes women think like this, that's what's harming dating. That is what's ruining dating, because those women are not living in fucking reality. RP guys, the ones that y'all claim that are ruined, those are the men living in reality. That's the reason why it comes off as ruining to y'all, because they're not placating to that fucking fairy tale that y'all want to live in, that delusional bubble that y'all want to stay in. They're bursting that delusional bubble that y'all want to stay in. That's why it's so bothersome. So if anything, is this brainwashing of this delusional standards that's really killing dating. It ain't got shit to do with RP content. RP content is just shedding light on the shit and making men aware of the delusional standards that y'all think that all y'all feel entitled to. And just from a numbers perspective, just from a population perspective, just from how many percentage of how many people make X amount of dollars, most women are not gonna get this. And I learned this from Medium Man myself. Basically three out of every 4 women that are married are working. So where the fuck are y'all getting this delusion from, unless it's coming from content creators that push this shit? But these are the same motherfuckers that want to sit over here and shit on RP content. Shut the fuck up.
There's only one relationship dynamic where the woman doesn't work, and that's when the man is the sole provider. The woman works when the man is the primary breadwinner, when it's an egalitarian relationship, 50-50, when she is the primary breadwinner, and when she is the sole breadwinner. Again, only one marital dynamic where the woman doesn't work. 74% of women in marriages work. Only 26% are afforded the opportunity to be stay-at-home wives fully. And I need the black community to grasp this. I need y'all to understand, because when you get dumbass dudes like this get on social media and try and clown men for not, paying all the bills, it's normal. Ladies, look to your left and look to your right. Is everybody that you work with black? Are they black women? Or do you see white women, Asian women, Hispanic women, Indian women out there? Do they work with you? Okay then. God, dog, what is wrong with the black community, man? You just not gonna sit there and do nothing. Everybody works. Lord.
What gave you that mentality?
Man, I've been had it since I was young. I mean, shoot, if you look at the granddaddies and everything, they was taking care of the bills, and guess what? They was with grandma for the longest. These dudes be in relationships in and out because they not paying 100% of everything.
Right.
That's the reason why they in washing machine ass relationships.
But does your wife work?
No. Why would I want to do that? Think about it. If your woman worked, that means she pretty much listening to two men. He telling her what to dress, what time to show up, what time to go home. Nah, we ain't doing none of that. She got one man and one man only, so she ain't finna work.
But God forbid something happened to you and you lost everything. How would you expect her to be able to, take care of things?
You're always supposed to look for a capable woman. If she's capable of handling things, that's the woman you want to take care of, because she was handling business with or without you regardless.
What's your age?
All right, now you seen how he had all that energy in the first video? Look at his demeanor now. And it's quite ironic that he's wearing a red coat, i.e. RP.
You can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.
Yeah, and how much you want to bet those same women that were over here praising him in that first video, I bet you didn't catch a single breath of any of those type of women in the comments of this video. I would have loved for Media Man to show the comments of this second one.
Now, red pill understanding. Even if you pay all of the bills, nothing is guaranteed, brother. Remember that, and stop trying to throw your dudes, your fellow men under the bus. Crazy ass. Here we go.
I'm 34 years old.
Have you ever proposed to a woman before?
Yes, I did.
And how did that turn out for you?
Newly divorced.
How long was your marriage?
8 years.
What do you think caused your 8-year marriage to deteriorate?
It's one of those crazy things, man. People can wake up and say, I don't want to do this. No matter what's built, no matter what legacies are in place, It's one of those situations where you can't control people, right? I can't control you. I can't make you do something you don't want to do, so, you know what I mean?
But did you provide in your relationship?
First month, quit your job.
First month, quit your job. And again, it's nothing against the men who do pay all of the bills in their household. That's perfectly fine. But when you try and, talk mess about grown men, that's when, it's a problem, especially coming from a black man. Okay? So yeah, nothing is guaranteed, man.
I'm here, I'm taking care of this. So I ain't had to see a bill in 8 years,
So even though you provided 100%,
right,
the marriage still failed.
Yeah, man. Married people want to be single. Single people want to be married. Rich people want to be poor. Poor people want to be,
That's absolutely not true. Rich people do not want to be poor.
Yeah, rich people don't want to be poor. I think it's just rich people that have any kind of clout and can be recognized out in public. They want privacy. Yeah, don't mistake being rich and recognizable for people who they're only jealous of everyday people that can just walk around in the world and not have to stop to be taken for pictures and shit like that. That's what you mean when you say that. But yeah, ain't nobody ever said that they wanted to be poor that was rich. That's stupid.
Rich. Rappers want to be athletes. Athletes want to be rap. It's the other side look appealing. You know what I'm saying? And to people who married for a long time, you start hanging out with your single friends, you might miss that lifestyle. A lot of women don't want to be kept put up for real.
So
who you think he's talking to? He's talking about his ex-wife. he's basically painting a picture saying that she still wanted to be out in these streets, so she got a divorce.
And this is the reason why they want providers with no backbone. Because any man is willing to provide 100%. Especially if he's RP aware, he would have never been okay with her going out with her single friends, because we know that this is typically what happens when married women, especially if they've been married for a long time. And he said they was married for 8 years, and he's 34, which means they got married when he was 26. So God knows how long they were together prior to that. So with that in mind, sounds like both of y'all dated young, and I guess you could say this kind of falls in with the Aisha Curry conversation, where it was like, damn, you got married young and got put up, you was taken care of, but you also saw all your single friends having their hot girl summers and moving around and doing whatever the hell they want, and you actually had to be in the you had to be within these boundaries of the relationship. And then the moment that you went outside that boundary, look what happened. Now all of a sudden you're missing a single life, and now here you are, you willing to throw away a very rare opportunity, because most men are not going to be able to do this for most women, because just like I said, statistically speaking, it's just impossible. She was still willing to leave. So it just goes to show you, as much as these women come on the internet and act like that's the end all be all, like that's your way that's a way of a man being guaranteed to make it to the finish line with a woman when it comes to building a life together. It's just not true. And then you can think of countless millionaires and billionaires in the world that we know just from TV that have gone through the same thing. So yeah, that providing 100% don't mean shit, bro. Women just say that because they only thinking about themselves and being selfish.
Sound like it's something that women do. I've never seen a guy, kind of place blame on, the woman, but I usually see women do that.
Was it you or your wife that filed for divorce?
On her side.
But as a man,
And she filed for divorce. Huh.
and how do you handle the
He filed for divorce after he was paying 100% of the bills and talking mess about other men for 8 years.
mental shift of building a life for 8 years with someone to now just being back on your own?
It wasn't an easy process. Was in the house for the first 4 months trying to figure out what the hell. You know what I mean? Like one of those situations like, yo, is anything not repairable these days? If this is not this and that, let's work it out. Let's fix it. At the end of the day, man, that ain't what individuals wanted to do, man. So, I got no choice but to accept it and move on with my life.
And hopefully you learned a lesson, brother. And like I said, man, I think it's sad. I don't like to see anybody get divorced, but I just despise men who pander because of situations like this. When what old boy say on the Office, when the tables turn tables.
Well. How the turntables.
This is what happens, man. Now you're gonna get a video review from me because I don't like when dudes pander. I wonder how he thinks about these situations now. He may be the guy that is not going to be as generous as he was in the past. Now he's going to get with a woman. He's going to be very frugal with his money.
Imagine a man tells you this. Yeah, I used to be generous with women. I used to take women on nice trips, buy them gifts, pay for dates, all that. But then I realized women started using me for my money. So now with you, I'm not spending a dime until we're married. No dates, no dinners, no gifts. I just want to make sure you're here for me, not my money. Let that sink in for a second. If a man told you that, you'd probably look at him sideways. You'd say, hold up, you want me to commit to you, marry you, and then you'll start acting like a provider? You'd probably think he's being cheap or emotionally guarded. You'd feel like you're being punished for what other women did to him.
And this is, ladies, if you date this man, remember that. He paid all the bills for the last woman, got burnt, and now you up next. You ain't get none of that shit probably, if he learned. But he was like, well, my grandparents and my grandfathers used to do that, so it may be ingrained in him to continue to do that. So you may hit the jackpot with this dude because he ain't learned shit. Nothing is guaranteed, okay? And that's all RP is trying to teach people, man. Be aware, try and vet as best possible. And even if you do vet, it still could go wrong. Feelings are involved. Women make decisions on feelings most of the time. So it seemed like that guy did as well. So shout out to him.
Yeah, hopefully he has learned, but my gut tells me he hasn't. Y'all let me know what you think about this. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way y'all know what I'm uploading. Hit the like button because that's what the algorithm and helps me reach a broader audience. Also look out for the travel vlog channel, as well as the live show channel. Both links are in the description. Until the next video, y'all, deuces.